You've probably heard it your whole life. Speak up. That's how you get noticed, get ahead, make your mark. Right? In meetings, in relationships, everywhere you look, it seems like the loudest voice wins. But what if that's completely wrong? What if all that effort to be heard is actually making you less influential? What if the constant noise, the scramble for the perfect reply, and the fight for airtime are the very things stealing the respect and clarity you've been chasing? This isn't just another video with a few quick communication tips. This is about flipping the script entirely. Today, we're diving into the secret of water-like listening. A transformative approach that can change not just how you communicate, but how you think, lead, and truly connect with the people around you. Here's the real problem. We confuse hearing with listening. Hearing is easy. It's passive. It's like the hum of an air conditioner in the background. It takes zero effort. But true listening? That's different. It's intentional. It's active. It's an art. And it's an art most of us were never taught. That's why we often think we're better at it than we really are. Research shows that after a 10-minute talk, most people only remember about half of what they heard. 2 days later, that drops to just 25%. We live in a world drowning in noise, everyone talking, almost no one really listening. And here's the kicker. This habit of listening to reply instead of listening to understand, it's costing you more than you realize. It kills clarity, it signals insecurity, and it quietly sabotages your influence before you even get the chance to build it. We live under this illusion that volume equals value, that the person who talks the most must be the smartest or the most powerful in the room. But here's the truth. It's usually the opposite. Talking too much rarely comes from confidence. More often, it's driven by insecurity, anxiety, or just habit. It's a defense mechanism, a way to fill the silence that makes us uncomfortable, or to prove we belong in a room full of competing voices. But that impulse comes with a hidden cost. When you're listening to someone, but your mind is busy crafting your next brilliant point, you're not really listening. Your brain simply can't process what's coming in while it's preparing what's going out. You end up stuck in a mental holding pattern, catching just enough to respond, but missing the details, the emotion, the meaning behind the words. That's why so many conversations feel like disconnected monologues. We leave meetings feeling unheard. We argue with loved ones in circles. We fail to connect with the people standing right in front of us. We talk, but we don't build trust. We make noise, but we don't gain wisdom. Because wisdom isn't found in the noise you make. It's found in the space you create. The greatest communicators understood something counterintuitive. Silence is strength. Intentional, strategic listening is what turns a voice that fades into an influence that lasts. When you truly listen, you create what researchers call psychological safety. You send an unspoken message. I value what you're saying. You matter. You're heard. That simple act is the foundation of trust. In fact, science shows that when people feel genuinely listened to, their brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It creates a connection that talking at someone can never achieve. And here's the truth. You can't persuade someone who doesn't trust you. You can't lead a team that doesn't feel safe enough to share their real ideas. You might win the battle for airtime, but you'll lose the war for influence. On the flip side, the person who's comfortable with silence, who listens deeply and speaks deliberately, radiates confidence. They don't need to fill every gap with words to prove their worth. Their calm presence shows control of themselves, their thoughts, and the room. So when they finally speak, their words land with impact. They're chosen with care, shaped by a deep understanding of what everyone else, in their rush to talk, completely missed. So how do we master this skill? We take a cue from one of the most powerful, adaptive forces in nature: water. Water-like listening is quiet, flexible, reflective, and incredibly strong. It's built on 4 qualities you can learn to embody. Power 1. Clarity through stillness. Picture a perfectly still lake. Its surface is a flawless mirror, reflecting the sky with absolute clarity. But when the water is choppy, the reflection turns into a distorted mess. Our minds work the same way. To truly understand someone, we need that inner stillness. That means resisting the urge to judge, react, or plan your comeback the second they stop talking. Here's a simple but game-changing technique: the 3-second rule. When someone finishes speaking, pause. Silently count to 3 before saying a word. This tiny gap does 3 things: stops you from interrupting, gives you time to absorb what was said, shows the other person you're giving their thoughts real weight. During this pause, practice reflection. Use phrases like, "So if I'm understanding you correctly, what you're saying is," or "It sounds like you're feeling." This isn't parroting, it's confirming meaning. It prevents misunderstandings and shows a level of engagement that's rare and powerful. Power 2. Trust through presence. Water is fully present wherever it is. It fills its container completely. Water-like listening demands that same total presence. It's not just about staying quiet. It's about signaling with your whole body that you're there, fully engaged. That means waging war on distractions. Put your phone away. And I mean away. Not face down on the table where it still whispers your name. Turn your body toward the speaker. Make natural eye contact. Nod occasionally. These small cues create a feedback loop. When someone feels your presence, they feel respected. They open up. They trust you. Being truly seen and valued is a fundamental human need, and a great listener can give that gift to anyone. Power 3. Confidence through calm. Think about the deep ocean. Its power isn't in noise, it's in depth and calm, unstoppable force. A water-like listener radiates that same quiet confidence. They understand that strategic silence can be more persuasive than a flood of words. In a tense negotiation or tough conversation, the person most comfortable with silence usually holds the most power. After you make a point, stop. Let it land. Don't rush to fill the gap with nervous chatter or justifications. This calm deliberateness screams authority. It makes your words carry weight. Speaking succinctly and then pausing invites the other person into the space you've created, turning a conversation into a thoughtful dialogue instead of a verbal tug-of-war. Power 4. Insight through observation. Water is endlessly adaptive. It flows around rocks, slips into cracks, and finds paths others can't see. A water-like listener does the same. When you listen first, you notice what everyone else misses. The hesitation in someone's voice, the slight shift in their posture, the theme that keeps bubbling up beneath their words. That's the subtext, and that's where the real conversation lives. The best way to uncover it? Ask open-ended questions, not the kind that get a quick yes or no, but the kind that invite stories. Try, "Tell me more about that. How did that feel? What was the most important part of that for you?" These questions turn you from a passive listener into a curious explorer. You gather rich insights, emotional cues, hidden priorities, unspoken fears. Suddenly, you're not just another voice in the room. You're the most informed person there. And when you finally speak, your words don't sound like just another opinion. They carry weight. They reframe the conversation. They lead to better solutions because they're rooted in understanding, not assumption. Becoming a water-like listener isn't an overnight fix, it's a practice. But the good news? You can make incredible progress with a simple 30-day plan. Week 1. Build the habit of silence. Start small. For 5 minutes a day, do a listening sit. Put on a podcast or ask a friend to talk, and make it your only job to listen, without planning a reply. Just notice how your mind races to interrupt or form a thought, and gently let it go. This is about training your brain to slow down. Week 2. Integrate the techniques. Now, take it into real conversations. In at least 3 interactions each day, use the 3-second rule before you speak. Pause. Count to 3. Then, paraphrase what you heard. So, if I'm understanding you correctly. Or, it sounds like you're feeling. This simple shift builds clarity and trust instantly. Week 3. Master presence. This week is all about eliminating distractions. In 2 important conversations every day, whether at dinner or in a team meeting, commit to having your phone completely out of sight, not face down. Gone. Notice how the energy changes when you're fully present. People feel it. They open up. Week 4. Put it all together. Choose one important or potentially tough conversation you need to have. Go in with the intention of being a water-like listener. Speak less. Listen more. Observe what happens. You'll be amazed at the shift, not just in the conversation, but in how people respond to you. As you start this journey, expect a little resistance. One common fear? That your silence will look like disinterest, or worse, weakness. I get it. That pause can feel awkward at first. Here's a simple fix. If the silence feels heavy, use a phrase like, "That's a great point. Let me think about that for a second." This doesn't signal weakness. It signals thoughtfulness. It shows you're deliberate, which is a hallmark of real confidence. Another hurdle? For all the fast thinkers out there who feel pressure to have an instant answer. If that's you, make the paraphrase technique your secret weapon, repeating back what you heard. So, if I'm understanding you correctly, or it sounds like you're saying, does 2 things. It confirms you understood, and it buys your brain precious seconds to process and craft a smarter response. For most of our lives, we've been told to find our voice. But here's the hidden truth. Wisdom doesn't come from speaking. It comes from listening. When you cultivate stillness for clarity, presence for trust, calm for confidence, and observation for insight, everything changes. You stop being just another source of noise. You become a source of wisdom. You become the person people seek out for advice, the leader they trust, the friend who truly hears them. Because the power was never in your voice. It's been in your ears all along, just waiting to be unlocked.